Assalamu alaikum. This is Prapunti Chakraborty welcoming you to the English news from BTV Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. ECNEC approves 11 projects with estimated total cost of more than 9,000 crore taka. Hearings against Sheikh Hasina and two others in case of crimes against humanity during July-August uprising to be completed by first week of October, says prosecutor. Country's economy makes notable recovery with export growth, record remittance inflows, lower inflation and rising foreign exchange reserves under interim government. Information and Broadcasting Advisor inaugurates application of Notun Kori as the competition to search teenage talents resume a new aspect. Israel announces preparations to forcibly evacuate Palestinians from combat zones to southern Gaza as thousands rally in Israeli capital calling for end to war. And Inter Miami defeats Los Angeles Galaxy by 3-1 in Major League Soccer with the prowess of Argentine star Lionel Messi. Viewers, those were the headlines. Now moving on to the details. The Executive Committee of the National Economic Council (ECNEC) has approved 11 projects with an estimated total cost of 9,361 crore 92 lakh taka. The approval was given at the ECNEC meeting held with ECNEC Chairperson Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus in the chair at the NEC conference room in the capital today. Of the approved projects, 5 are new, 2 are revised, while 3 projects with extension of period without increase in cost. Of the total amount, 6,677 crore taka will come from government funding, 2,428 crore 4 lakh taka as project loans, and 256 crore 89 lakh taka from the implementing agency's own financing. The fourth day of witness testimony in the case concerning crimes against humanity during the July mass uprising filed against the deposed Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and 2 others was held today. The testimony took place before International Crimes Tribunal 1, headed by Justice Muhammad Ghulam Murtaza Mojumdar with Justice Shofiul Alam Mahmood and Justice Motihul Haq Enam Chowdhury as the other members of the 3-judge panel. The 2 other accused in the case are former Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and former Inspector General of Police Chowdhury Abdullah Al Mamun. Today, testimony from 4 witnesses have been scheduled. So far, 3 witnesses, a vegetable vendor Abdul Samad, July fighter Mizan Mia, and Naim Sigdar have given their statements, bringing the total number of witnesses examined to 8. On 6th August, after hearing the 4th and 5th witnesses, the tribunal set today for a continuation of the evidence. During a break in the proceedings this afternoon, prosecutor Mizanul Islam told the reporters he hoped witness hearings will be completed by the first week of October. Earlier in the day, arrested accused and state witness Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun was produced before the tribunal. Meanwhile, Tribunal 1 has fixed 25th August as the next hearing date in the Rampura shooting case in which a young man hanging from a balcony was shot during the July-August uprising. In addition, in the Ashliya Konabari Hriday murder case and the Jatrabari and Muhammadpur crimes against humanity cases, the tribunal has granted the prosecution 2 additional months to complete their investigations. This morning, 17 accused were produced before the tribunal in connection with crimes against humanity, including murders committed in Muhammadpur, Rampura, Jatrabari, and Konabari in Gazipur. Under the leadership of the interim government, Bangladesh's economy has made a notable recovery. Export growth, record remittance inflows, lower inflation, and rising foreign exchange reserves now present a new economic outlook. When Dr. Muhammad Yunus's interim government assumed office in August 2024, the country was facing 8% inflation, a reserve crisis, and a strong depreciation pressure on the currency. The situation has changed significantly within a year. In July, the first month of 2025-26 fiscal year, export earnings reached $4.77 billion, almost 25% higher than in the same period last year. Remittances in July amounted to $2.477 billion, the highest ever for a single month. Foreign transactions recorded a $3 billion surplus. Foreign currency reserves have increased to $30 billion, the highest in several years, and per capita income has risen to $2,820. At the same time, the interim government has started repaying the massive $156 in debt accumulated by the former fascist Hasina government. In the 2024-25 fiscal year, the government repaid a record $4.087 billion in principal and interest, the largest single-year repayment in Bangladesh's history. Despite a year of relief, several challenges remain. Although inflation has fallen to a single digit, which is 8.55%, the cost of living is still weighing on ordinary people. GDP growth has fallen to 3.97%. However, economists say that if the current momentum continues, investment, employment, and the capital market will improve further and strengthen the recovery. According to the International Center for Diarrhea Disease Research, Bangladesh ICDDRB, up to 98% of children aged 2 to 4 years in Dhaka have measurable levels of lead in their blood. The study also shows that children living in areas under the Dhaka South City Corporation are more heavily affected than those in the north. Experts noted that children living within 1 kilometer of industrial factories are 43% more likely to be exposed to lead compared to children living 5 kilometers away. Notun Kuri is a historical name in the cultural arena of Bangladesh. The competition was launched at first on Bangladesh television in 1976, still remains as an unfading memory. It was an unforgettable step for searching the teenage talents of the country, which has encouraged generations for art and culture. After a long time, this traditional program is resuming again in a new aspect. Information and Broadcasting Advisor Muhammad Mahfuz Alam inaugurated the online application of Notun Kuri at Bangladesh Television Bhavan in Dhaka today. Information and Broadcasting Secretary Mahbooba Farzana and Director General of Bangladesh Television Muhammad Mahbubul Alam were present on the occasion. Notun Kuri's regional selection will start in 19 regions on September 11th, while division-level selection on September 23rd. Final selection of Notun Kuri will take place in Dhaka from October next. The final of the competition will be held from November 2 to 6. It is hoped that Notun Kuri will create hope to help develop latent talents of the new generation. Cultural personalities hope that this endeavor will bring a positive change in the country's cultural arena. Now, international news. Israel has announced preparations to forcibly evacuate Palestinians from combat zones to southern Gaza from Sunday, days after it announced a new offensive to seize control of Gaza City, the enclave's largest urban center. An Israeli army spokesperson said on Saturday that residents would be provided with tents and other shelter equipment transported through the Kurim Shalom crossing by the United Nations and international relief organizations. The United Nations has not commented on the plan or on its alleged role in providing humanitarian assistance. The statement comes less than a week since Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu announced that the military had been given the green light to dismantle what he described as 2 remaining Hamas strongholds, Gaza City in the north and Al-Mawasi further to the south. Israeli attacks in Gaza has killed at least 61,827 Palestinians and wounded 1,55,275 since October 7th of 2023. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of Israeli rally in the Israeli capital, Tel Aviv, calling for an end to the war on Gaza and the return of the captives held by Hamas as global protests continue over Israel's killing of Al Jazeera's journalist. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russia's refusal to agree to a ceasefire is complicating efforts to end the war. On Monday, the Ukrainian leader will travel to Washington, D.C., where U.S. President Donald Trump has said he will urge Zelensky to agree to a peace deal. Trump has said he wants to bypass a ceasefire in Ukraine to move directly to a permanent peace agreement after his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. In a major shift of position, the U.S. president said on Truth Social following Friday's summit that this would be the best way to end the horrific war between Russia and Ukraine, adding ceasefires often do not hold up. Following a phone call with Trump after the summit, Zelensky called for a real lasting peace, while adding that the fire must cease and killings stop. Trump's comments indicate a dramatic shift in his position on how to end the war, having said only on Friday ahead of the summit that he wanted a ceasefire rapidly. The death toll from heavy monsoon floods and landslides in Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir continues to rise rapidly, with 321 people now confirmed dead. Most of the deaths were recorded by disaster authorities in the mountainous Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province in northwest Pakistan. At least 74 homes have been damaged, and a rescue helicopter crashed during operations, killing its 5 crew. 9 more people were killed in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, while 5 died in the northern Gilgit-Baltistan region. Government forecasters said heavy rainfall was expected till 21st of August in the northwest of the country, where several areas have been declared disaster zones. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has declared a day of mourning. Several wildfires have swept across southern Europe, with 3 deaths confirmed in Spain and 1 in Portugal. Experts are calling the fires, which are burning from Greece to Portugal, one of the worst in the region's history. The ongoing record-breaking heat wave has made the situation even more complicated. At least 5 countries have asked for international help to control the fires. The European Union, EU, has sent firefighting aircraft as part of the assistance. Thousands of people have already been evacuated to safe shelters and hundreds have been injured. The situation in Greece has become the most dire. Fires have been burning on the island of Chios for 5 days, forcing many people to evacuate. The capital, Athens, and surrounding areas have been put on high alert. Spain has been identified as the worst hit country. Virginia Barcones, the country's Director General of Emergency Services, said at least 14 major fires are currently out of control. Public transport has been severely disrupted, causing closure of several high-ends and suspension of high-speed rail services. According to the European Forest Fire Information System, more than 390,000 acres of land have already been burned in Spain this year. Police have arrested several people in the country on suspicion of arson. The situation in neighboring Portugal has also been taken a deplorable turn. About 4,000 firefighters are working to bring more than 7 major fires under control there due to the state of emergency. The country has maintained an alert till Sunday night.